record on this computer. Okay, we are recording. So you guys, we're almost starting April. April 1st is on Wednesday. And it's been kind of a crazy time. So I'm so excited you guys are all committed to 90 days to diamond. 90 days to diamond. And some of you are building a diamond for the first time. Some of you are building a diamond for the second or the third time. No matter where you're at, you're here, you're learning, you're growing. The one thing that I want you guys to think about when you're looking at diamond for 90 days is this week. Like, if your goal is 4 new coaches a month, you need 1 new coach a week. So that needs to be a focus each week, is that you're enrolling 1 new coach to your team. So it's Monday, and this will be the very first partial week of April. So your focus this week should be enrolling a new coach to your team. And Jessica is going to be dropping so many nuggets. So make sure you guys have a pen, a piece of paper, take notes. I have a pen and paper, and I'm going to be taking notes because she always brings so much value that I turn around and I'm so excited to implement it. She's also, some of you guys know this and some of you don't, but Paul and I own, 6 or 7 income properties. And Jessica is the person that helped me get into that and get started with that. So a vision that I had always had was I wanted to be a real estate investor. I wanted to invest in real estate and earn income passively. Beachbody is how I earn income actively. Real estate is how I earn it passively. And I was in a group with Jessica, and I look up to her. I love her leadership. And she had posted that she owns, I don't know how many now, but at the time it was 12 rental properties. And I reached out and I'm like, how? Tell me how, and tell me how to start this, and where do I do this? And I think that's really incredible that as a community and as a network, we can keep helping to educate and build bigger visions for our lives and what is possible and the potential that we have, not only with this opportunity, but the freedom that we can create for our families. So I am really excited to have her here with us today, and thank you for agreeing. She's a mom, so she's busy, and I know we're taking time away from her family, so we appreciate that, Jessica, and we're excited to have you.
Yes, excited to be here. So wait, so when did this group start? Just so I make sure I know how far.
Just last week.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't yell at you all yet. Well, first, congratulations on making the decision to be a part of this group. I think that's a major, great first step. But what I will tell you, there's a lot of important steps that come after that. So don't maybe have early celebration yet, because I want to make sure that you're not skipping the important steps that come with not only building to diamond, we have all of these diamond groups, 90 days to diamond, but what's really important is the diamond is fun. The diamond is a pay raise. The diamond is very important and is a stepping stone in your success as a coach. But it's the habits and the behaviors that you have to put into practice to get there, especially to stay there and to go beyond, that are really going to change your life and your business. So that's what's going to be really important, is to adapt these behaviors. Now, I'm sure you guys already know what to do. And what I found in this business, I've been a coach for 10 years. I started this completely by accident. I joined to get a discount on a shake I did not want to drink. Literally, my coach, which I didn't even know what a coach was. I thought coaches should have softball teams or something. And she recommended that I drink Shakeology. And I was like, oh Lord. She went from being super cool to super annoying because she just asked me to drink a shake and buy it, and it was expensive. And those were all against my core values because I am cheap. But thankfully, I was desperate enough. So that's just a little bit of a background, just a tiny bit of my background, because I want you guys to know I didn't come into this being like, I'm going to own a business and I'm going to change people's lives and I'm going to make a lot of money. But once I learned what number one, it took, what I was willing to do, because that's what's important. You got to figure out, what does it take? And are you willing to do what it takes? There's a big difference. There's probably 300,000 coaches. I'll give 50,000 a pass. 300,000 coaches that want it. They want to succeed. They want to get a paycheck. But there's a difference in a coach that wants it and that's willing to do what it takes to get it. And that's what I'm hoping that you guys are. We've already sifted out from the whole team. And even myself, I run a huge team. When I do a call where I'm literally I'm going to help you get to where you want to go, and I have about this many people get on, it blows my mind every time. So I'm we literally have the tools that can build a sustainable, long-term, extraordinary business that you probably cannot even fathom on the deepest level that it can exist right now, you don't even get it. I promise you, because I know when I started, like I said, I didn't get it. But what I knew was our programs worked. I was getting better results in less time in my fitness. I used to be a gym rat. I used to go an hour and a half a day. And I was the girl that would like go around to every machine, then I would go around to every machine again. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. But I knew I was going to be the girl that was the stair stepper girl, because she just stayed on one machine for an hour. And I'm like, she looks the same too. And then I'd get my favorite machine though was the ab roller. Anybody have experience with the ab roller back in the day? It's like where you lay on the floor and you do this. And I would be like owning that machine for 15 minutes a day. Never had abs. But so when I discovered the workouts, that's where it starts. So number one, drop it in the comments. What program are you doing right now? This is so vital to your success, because I don't know if you guys heard the National Wake Up Call this morning, but I thought it was really interesting when Amy talked about, early days of coaching, which I 100% was a part of. I think I've been a coach a little bit longer than her. Okay, good. You guys are doing 10 rounds, hammer and chisel, bar. We didn't have all this extra stuff. So you had to get results, because that's all you had to share was I'm doing my program, I'm drinking my Shakeology, and this is how I feel. That was all we had. But that's good because it required us to get results in that way. Shakeology, what flavor of Shakeology is your go-to? Drop it in the comments. What's your soulmate Shakeology recipe? Do you know that immediately? You've got to, because it's literally just the foundation of your business. Vegan cafe latte, vegan chocolate. Okay, good. So that's literally like 101 simplistic stuff, but it's required. Like if we aren't even starting there, then there's no need to move on. Okay, but next, and I'm not going to go through the vital behaviors. Obviously, we have to be inviting. Obviously, we need to be reading our personal development. But I want to talk a little bit about mindset, because this can be something, especially early on, that you can underestimate. Because once again, it's incomprehensible. You're like, I'm supposed to read a book? I thought I'm supposed to invite. Like, I want to build a business. Who has time to read a book? I know for me, when I started and my coach said, do your personal development, I was like, I'm a Christian. I go to like, thanks, but I don't make your like self-help books. I just didn't think it would make a difference. But I had something going for me, and that was I am two things. I am a nerd and I'm a rule follower. And if you are not either of those things, I challenge you to adapt the mindset, be a nerd, be a rule follower just when it comes to Beachbody, because it's literally what built my business. Because I didn't believe it mattered, but I was a nerd. I was going to do what she told me to do, because what I knew was she was successful. She also seemed happy. I was struggling in both. My marriage was completely on the rocks. I was totally mentally drained, physically drained because I was mentally drained. I was depressed. I was full of anxiety, but I was the person that walked around with a fake smile on my face all day long. I was so embarrassed and ashamed at the reality I was living, and I was desperately looking for help, but I couldn't actually admit that to anyone, because that also felt like failing to me. And I already felt like I was failing in every area of my life. I didn't want people to know. And literally, I saw my coach and I'm like, she just seems better off than me. So what I know is I'm going to be a good student. So I started reading my personal development. And you guys, there's a big difference between, once again, reading personal development and applying personal development. Knowing what to do and actually doing it is the difference in the ones that succeed long-term and the ones that don't. So my challenge to you first and foremost is, well, not first, because first we've decided, what does it take? Are we willing to do what it takes? And then I want you guys to faith it till you make it. I know they say fake it till you make it, but sometimes if you're like me and one of your core values is being authentic, you're like, but I can't fake it because then it's not real and I'm trying to be real, and then you're just confused. But if you faith it till you make it, and what do I mean by that? Because there is going to be literally, your mindset matters so much in getting you from point A to point B in this business. Because if you don't believe in you, or if you don't believe in what you have to offer, then other people are going to sense that, and they're not going to want to join you either. Or they're going to think, maybe they might join someone else, or maybe they're going to miss out on the opportunity for their entire world to change because you didn't work on building up your belief in you. So how exactly do you do that? Because I feel like, especially nowadays, it can be so cliche, like, just believe in yourself. Happy Monday, believe in yourself today, and you're like, what the heck? I have no idea how. I just started this. I'm clueless. Or maybe some of you guys have been around a while and you have the opposite mindset of like, well, I've already tried to go diamond time and time again, so I really don't believe I can do it at this point. Both are very common mindsets of either, I don't have a team yet, why should someone join me? or I've been at this so long, really someone probably shouldn't join me. Both of those will be the detriment of you if you don't hit them head on. So first I want to know, what is the thing that you think is holding you back? Drop it in the comments. Because you're not diming out, which is group obviously, it's only been lasting a day. Odds are some of you have been coaches longer than that, but why have you not reached diamond already? What is the thing you think is holding you back? Self-doubt, doubt. Okay, well, at least it was about the right thing. Lack of experience in the company. I'm not inviting to coaching enough because it's easy. Inviting challenge groups, consistency, generational poverty. Whoa, let's get deep. Yes, I love getting deep. Oh, and I'm drinking my Energize, guys, because I'm gonna work out after this. So it's just gonna get more exciting as the call goes. Overthinking, not inviting to coaching enough. Okay, so I actually want to address these specifically because I wanted to kind of really tailor our conversation to what can help you. So I'll address the ones like not inviting to coaching enough, or it's easier to invite to challenge groups. I'm going to give you guys 2 things that helped me when I joined as a coach. Number 1, if I have a hang up of inviting to coaching, okay, there's a reason why you're not inviting to coaching, and odds are it's one of these other things listed. It could be self-doubt. It could be you're not being consistent. It could be you're overthinking. It could be you're not making enough money yet. So what I had to do, because when I started, my hang up was MLMs. I hated MLMs. I didn't even know Beachbody was an MLM, multi-level marketing opportunity. I didn't even know because, like I said, I just signed up for a shake. I didn't want to drink, but I was going to save money if I kept it. And then all of a sudden when I'm like, but wait, this is helping my life. Wait, what if I could earn money doing this? Like, this is fun, way cooler than my job. That's what started me learning more about the opportunity. And I realized, oh my God, I'm in an MLM. This is a nightmare. So that was what I had to mentally overcome, because the last thing I wanted to do was invite someone to an MLM. So this is the key to success, is finding out what your current roadblock is. Because whatever you guys just listed today, guess what? In a month, you're gonna have another roadblock. In a year, it's gonna be a totally different roadblock. So it's about seeing these roadblocks so that you can climb over them. But if you don't recognize them and address them and hit them head on, then it becomes a wall and you end up turning around and going the other direction. So what I do is I find stories that help me faith it till I make it. So what does that mean? If my hang up is, obviously it started with, I hate MLMs, but what did I really feel? I really felt like smart people didn't do MLMs. Intelligent people didn't do MLMs. If someone finds out I'm doing an MLM, they're gonna think I'm stupid. That was my mindset. So when you guys say general doubt, put it more specific. Or when you say I don't invite to coaching enough, let's get more specific. What is the actual doubt going on in your head that's keeping you from moving your business forward? While you guys are dropping those in the comments, okay, Kelsey's unable to lead a team, don't feel like I can be a leader. So I'm gonna take a side note and just address this really quick. A lot of you are afraid that you can't lead a team or be a leader. Now here's why you might feel that way. Because you have an exceptional leader. Christy is amazing. She's actually one of my favorite coaches in the entire coach network. I never told her that exactly, but that's true. She is one of my favorite coaches in the entire coach network. So you can start to compare yourself. You can think that is how you have to be. And I have great news. You guys do not have to be Christy. Isn't that awesome? Like, I don't know if y'all know Artina Marie. She's spoken on stage at Summit a couple times. She's one of my downline coaches, and she can like light a room on fire when she talks. And so what happens though is when people see what their coach does, they think I have to do that, or I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not a coach. But so if this is your mindset, what I challenge you to do is literally seek out, and this might sound terrible, but it's really not, a crappy coach. Because they exist. And guess what? There's some making $1 million a year. And what does that do? That helps build your belief. I learned that, which it sounds like a weird tactic, but I actually learned that at GoPro. Eric Worre, he has a convention, and there was a guy on stage, and he said, there's someone dumber than you, there's someone, dumber than you, uglier than you, and not as smart as you, doing better than you. So sometimes it's almost a disservice, especially in Beachbody. Our top coaches, Lindsay Matway was a top coach for years. She's beautiful. She's like Beachbody Barbie. And so what would happen? You would think, well, if I'm not Beachbody Barbie, I can't succeed at this business. And that is just not accurate. So I used to have to go through those things. And okay, if this is my hang up, this is what I have to do. That's why sometimes even on team calls, I'll showcase a coach, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm not a good speaker, I can't do this. I'm like, that's why I want you on the call, because you're doing amazing, and that isn't a prerequisite to success. So then there's also this, oh yes, Jatana Jackson would be she would be like Skipper, Barbie. Just kidding. So then there is what I did at the beginning for my MLM hang up. Like I said, I'm thinking smart people don't do this. So I went and found smart people that were doing this, so I could conquer that doubt that was going in my head over and over. I'll never forget, Monica Ward was a coach at the time. She was on a national wake-up call, and she shared she was making 5 figures in 1 week. Her husband at the time was a lawyer, and he wanted to quit the firm and be a Beachbody coach. In my brain, poof, that wasn't exciting enough. There went my negative belief, because in my mind back then, I don't believe this now, lawyers were like, oh, like if you were a lawyer, you were like so smart and the epitome of work, the epitome of pay. Like I just imagine lawyers, doctors were, they would be up there. So when all of a sudden I'm hearing this woman who sounds very normal is making 5 figures a week, my goal, I was a waitress, and my goal was 4 figures a week. Never imagined someone's making 5 and like doing something cool and fun. And then her husband is a lawyer and wanting to quit being a lawyer, and they would have the financial means for him to do that. I was just like, bam, bam, bam. That helped change my mindset. Second story, and this is why now I know these stories stuck out, because they were conquering my doubts around inviting to coaching in this business. Second story was Barbie Kalev now. She was on a call that I was on, and she talked about she did not want to get paid to do this because she did not want to get paid to help people, because she didn't feel like that was right. And she was a college professor. Once again, I'm like, who's smart? A college professor is smart. This was a college professor wanting to do this for free. So once again, I'm like, why would I not invite people to this opportunity that these smart people are doing? And it helped me conquer that doubt. So when you are saying maybe you don't believe in yourself, that was one of the big ones, was doubt as well. Doubt, self-doubt, doubt that I can be a leader, consistency, overthinking. Now, a lot of these, so mine was a little more external. Mine was about the system itself. But now let's talk about, because a lot of what you guys listed are internal doubts. Now, something I'm sure you probably learned in your challenge groups, or you've learned an experience of being a coach, is that everyone thinks motivation needs to come first, but action precedes motivation. It has to. You get motivated when you're 2 weeks into your workout and you start to see and feel results. Then you're like, okay, I can do this. Very rarely on day 1, before you've done anything or seen anything, are you like, this is awesome. Maybe on day 1, but by day 2, you're like, okay, never mind. So what you have to do, number 1, is you have to take the steps. Like I said, faith until you make it. Take the steps. Find the thing that can help you. But if you are struggling with self-doubt, what you have to do is be of value. When you are of value, when you are offering something to the world, all of a sudden you start to believe a little bit more. So even when I joined in my team page, I was in there. My coach had a team page, and there were maybe 800 people. Now, once again, I was clueless. I had no idea. But what I knew was, people were posting, and I see a lot of coaches when they join, they all of a sudden they go completely silent. They're not in a team page. They're not posting. They're hiding, or they're being consumed in their own fears. And I was like, okay, I have no idea. And this is what I also didn't know. I had no idea how long anybody in that group had been a coach. I had no idea how successful any of them were either. I actually thought everyone must have been there for years, and everyone must have been like a top coach, because that was just what I thought. And I must have been this lowly, new, sucky coach, because I was struggling with self-doubt as well in my life in general. So I'm like, what can I do to be of value, to be of service? I need to contribute to the team. I need to be a good team player. I need to be the coach I want to attract. If I'm going to go invite, I don't want just anybody to join my team. I want somebody that's excited about it, ready to go do the work, and that wants to link arms and chase our dreams together. So I have to be that coach. And I might be it in my mind, but if people aren't seeing it, they're not going to know. So I would go and I would make sure I'm encouraging on other people's posts. I'm posting something, and I promise you, if you're like, and I still struggle with this, if I'm doing a post, I will be like, this isn't a good post. This isn't going to help anybody. Like, I feel like it's not even good. Almost every time I feel that way and I post it, people be like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you so much. So whenever you think you don't have value, you are 100% wrong, and that is the 100% moment you need to go add the value. Because all of a sudden when you add value, you feel valuable. Maybe your value is, guess what? It's Monday and I'm going to go send 5 people a check-in message that I haven't spoken to in a while to see how they're doing amongst all this crazy chaos. When you do it, comment below. Was that difficult? Was that like, you don't have to blow people's minds. It's about just showing up and doing something positive and faithing it till you make it, because that's going to help you build your belief in you. So something else I like to tell my team is that it stops with you. If your business stops, it is with you. You are the one that's holding the baton. You are the one, like I said, that's at the roadblock, and you're getting a choice to either climb over it or let that just build into a wall and turn around the other way. So you have to make sure that you are, 1, taking ownership, 2, like I said, deciding what it is that you need, what it takes to get there, and are you willing to do it? And then, of course, finding ways to make sure that you keep going. Let me just see if I have any other points, because I know it's supposed to be 15 minutes. I think I'm already over. I'm going to tell you one more thing.
You can go as long as you need. Okay. You're dropping the.
A lot of energized left. So I want to talk just one more time, because I don't want this to be like a negative call, but I feel like if you are going to succeed long-term, and that you have to be ready. And right now, hello, we're dealing with a lot, right? I mean, this can be a lot. This can be overwhelming. The coronavirus, I don't even like saying it because I'm just overhearing it, but it can be a lot. So we have to be prepared for these times, not because we're expecting them to come, but if you're committed long-term to anything, it's just like when you have the challenger, and I only say the challenger because I'm not doing this in my life anymore, that say they are 3 weeks into their program, and then they're like, oh my gosh, you know what, I got sick and then I fell off the wagon. Or, oh my gosh, there was a death in the family, I fell off the wagon. Or, oh my gosh, I got stressed at work, fighting with my coworker, I fell off the wagon. I don't fall off the wagon, you guys, because this is about my life. My life happens to create an extraordinary business, but it's my commitments to my life that have changed everything. And so that's my challenge, is what someone attributed it to recently was, what do you do when you get a hangover? I don't really get hangovers really that much either. But if you did, what I know is you need to refuel and recharge, right? And some people might eat junk food, but so in your business, you will experience seasons of burnout. And what I see is coaches, especially early in their journey, can think that means I don't have a business. When you get rejected because you invited 3 people today and they all said no, you might think, this isn't for me. I don't think I can do this. And my challenge to you is faith it till you make it. Instead, this is simply a stepping stone. Failure is part of it. If you aren't failing, if you aren't getting no's, if you haven't read the book, Go for No or Failing Forward, if you struggle with either of those. And if you are still struggling, read them again, because we learn through repetition. If you're doing 10 rounds right now, we learn through repetition. You're like, 1, 2, okay, 1, 2, okay, 1, 2. But it's the same in this business, is you've got to be ready to fail, but the prize on the other side is worth everything. And that's one reason why I really think I've succeeded long-term as a coach, is because I've had some really crappy experiences. And what I know is, it's just like in the storm, you only see a rainbow after the storm. You guys have to keep your eye on the rainbow and realize you're going to go through a storm. You're going to go through a season. You might give it all you've got for the next 90 days, and you might not hit your goal. But if you give it all you've got, then you get to celebrate. But what I also know is that you don't even realize what you're capable of. I was reading a book on a Navy SEAL, and it talked about how, as humans, like even the top human, the Navy SEAL, the one that's conquered his body, his mind, can go through freezing cold water for 3 days or something and not die. They're only tapping into something like 35 to 45% of what they're actually capable of. So where does that leave us? I'm like, we are capable of so much more. And that's really my mission as a coach, is to help people realize. And even right now, how many of you guys are sitting at home and maybe you're so overwhelmed, but all of a sudden you're realizing, you know what, I maybe have moments of feeling I can make it through this. I can do this. And maybe I am capable of so much more. I see a lot of moms that are beat down because they're like, my kids are at home, my husband's at home. Like, they want to pull their hair out. But I'm like, when we get through this, you're going to feel like a champion, because you just did so much more than you thought you could. So this is 90 days to diamond. What if I told you in 30 days, if you hit diamond, I would give your entire family an all expense paid trip to Fiji, and the plane would be outside waiting? Would you hit diamond in 30 days? Probably. I would. If you would put a plane outside tomorrow, I'd probably hit it tomorrow because I'm ready to get out of here. So that's whenever, these are little kind of mental mind games I used to play with myself, because I'm like, I don't want to leave anything on the table. But then I also would engulf myself in stories of people's lives that were changed, and know that, guess what? I get to be potentially the person that introduces them to this opportunity that changes their life. Like I said, when I started this journey, I was in a terrible place, and my entire life is different now. I literally have a baby because I became a Beachbody coach to get a discount on a shake I didn't want to drink. I 100% believe that, because I would not be married to my husband today if I had not become a coach. And just a little short backstory: the very first Success Club trip I got to go on was on a cruise that he ended up locked in the room with a guard outside for half the trip. And we got escorted off the ship by the FBI. That was my very first Beachbody trip. I was humiliated, I was embarrassed, but I had this thing. And this thing was something I started to get a discount on a shake I didn't want to drink. And it in turn ended up helping me grow my mindset, grow my belief in myself, grow my value, because my world was crumbling. And it's like, to get to know that, maybe you started this just because you're like, okay, I'll work out at home, whatever. Maybe you didn't have this big, deep reason. And a lot of people don't. But what I can tell you is, over the next course of your life, there might become a big, deep reason, or there might be someone right now that you're Facebook friends with, or that you live next door to, that might need this more than you can ever imagine. And when all of a sudden you get to be the person that invites them, and they say yes, and they take the steps, because it's up to them, just like it's up to you. Just like the reason why there's hundreds of people not on this call right now, you made the first choice. Now you get to make the decision to make the next choice. And what I will also say is, something that benefited me when I started as a coach is a requirement of Success Club. Because like I told you guys, I was a nerd. So my coach said, make Success Club. It's like, I've got to figure out what that is. And we used to have to add a coach every single month to qualify for a Success Club. You had to get at least 1 point from a new coach. But what that did is it made me develop the behaviors to make sure that I was adding to the team. It also made me find value in coaching, to where I made sure I was able to invite to the team in a confident way. I had no team. I didn't know what I was doing. There was really no reason anyone should join me. But what I did instead, because I had a strong leader like you guys did, is I would just say, look, I have a coach and she's awesome and I'm following in her footsteps. Do you want to do this with me? I literally used to invite that way, because I believed that. What I believed is she was doing good, and I believed that I was going to stay true to my word. So that's my question to you guys, is what is your word and how strong is it? I don't care if you know all this stuff about coaching. I don't even care if you do in 5 years from now. What I care is, where are you going? Are you willing to do what it takes to get there? And then how strongly committed are you to your word? Because that was it. I knew I wasn't quitting. I was going to hold true to my promises. When you joined the team, I was going to be a member in it. And that was it. And in turn, by doing those small things consistently, my whole world changed. And I wasn't even looking. You know how they say, I'll end with this, I promise. You know how, can you tell I'm like quarantined? I'm like so excited to hang out with people. But you know how they say, like, find a why that makes you cry? My very first kind of leadership retreat, they handed out all of these poster boards and these markers and like, draw your why. You guys, I was in the bathroom crying, literally, because I didn't have a why. I'm like, what do I draw on a poster board? Like, I didn't have the mindset to even think that far ahead. Like, I didn't have dreams. I didn't have any kind of belief in something more. I literally just wanted something different. I wanted to escape my current reality. So that's really what I want to just encourage you guys is, you don't need to have it all figured out, but you have to figure out how you can share this with other people, because that is how you will change your life and you will change their lives. And the trickle effect a year from now, 5 years from now, will literally blow your socks off. I just had a challenger. She's a discount coach, which I wasn't even sure she was still a discount coach, honestly, because I haven't heard from her in like a year. She hasn't posted on my challenge group, nothing. And I happened to see on Facebook, she just got in an insane ski accident where she almost died on the hill, like collapsed into a tree. One of those terrible stories you hear. She has a punctured lung. She has 3 holes in her lungs. She has 9 broken ribs. She had to be life flighted. And then she also had fluid in her body, which, is terrible. And then it was, so I happened to see her post, because I actually don't ever scroll Facebook. But I happened to see it was like the top one when I opened, and then it was her birthday. So I sent her a message, just like praying for you, like, oh my gosh, so glad you're okay. And she said, I want you to know that you're a big part that I'm alive today. And of course I'm like, no, I'm not. But I mean, I know my prayers work, but thank you. But she said, they said if I did not have a strong core, like there's no way I would have survived this. And because of you, you literally sparked my interest in fitness. And you're what made me start on this journey. And I guess now she was training for competitions, which I didn't even know. And, I would hope and pray that perhaps someone else would have come into her life if I didn't. But then there's still the reality of, holy crap, like what, like I said, I could have been like, oh, this challenger sucks. She's not in my group for a whole year. Oh, well, which I would never think that because that's just not how my brain works. But I know some people do think that way. But I'm like, how rewarding is this job on so many levels? Like on so many levels. So now what did that do? That built my belief. I want to go invite somebody else because maybe they're going to get in a ski accident, not to be, but I'm just saying, like, you never know how you can impact someone's life. So when you're inviting, think about those things, find those stories where it gets you excited because that's what people sense and feel. They don't care if you know all the ingredients in Shakeology or if you know how to maximize cycle volume bonuses or if you have 700 people on your team. They care if you are excited about what you're doing. And excitement, especially right now, excitement and happiness and belief in something is contagious. And it's what people need. So hopefully that helped you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Like mic drop after mic drop after mic drop. I love it. They were all shaking their heads. So hopefully they're understanding and taking notes and ready to apply. Thank you so much. And you're my favorite. Cass, you didn't get to read it, but Cass said she's like, you're her favorite too.
That is so funny for the girl crush. Oh wait, you want to say hi to Kaden and my husband, who is no longer that guy? Thank the Lord. Thanks, Beachbody. Thanks, Carl Deichler.
Brian, hey.
Look over here. Say hi to everybody. Oh, drool.
I am drooling. My teeth are coming in.
Here, you can say.
Well, I didn't change them. He's still going.
Oh, okay. Okay. But yes, you're welcome. It was so fun, you guys. And literally, I would love if every single one of you messaged me when you hit diamond. I would love to celebrate you.
Yes, every single one of you. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 of you before 90 days. Okay, so to finish off, I told you guys last week that we're going to go through your numbers. So if you could all message in the chat, what were your action goals that you guys had for the week? And then what was the actual work that you did? So what were the action goals that you had set for yourself last week? And then what were the action goals that you did get done last week? So we'll start there and I'll wait for you guys to message in the chat.
All right, love you guys. Bye, everybody.
Yes.
I'll let you get to work.
Kelsey, 74 invites total, goal is 25 a day. One, I love that you still got in 74. That's incredible. And so I would say with 74 invites, what is that? That's about 10 a day. So I would say your focus this week, Kelsey, would be to have a goal of 15 a day and then get that 15 a day down really consistently. And then you can slowly up, the next week do 20 a day and then the next week do 25 a day. That's going to help build your confidence. It's also going to increase your invites because 15 times 8 is 120, right? So that way you're increasing from where you were this week. So I think that's great. Cherie, 150 invites for the week, got to 93. Okay, so let me see, 93, same thing. So if you guys go through like what your goal was, so you did on average about 13, a little over 13 a day. And then your goal was 150 invites. So I would say shoot for 15 a day or shoot for 20 a day. Either way, it's going to get you closer to that 150. Cass, 150 invite goal. She did 400 last week. Did I understand that right? 400? Where are you? Okay, I'm on mute. Can I unmute you?
Yes, I just have a teething baby here.
That's okay. That's okay. She did 30 to coaching. So Cass and I were just talking about this, that she used to have this limiting belief when she would hear big numbers thrown out. When she would, when I would say I'd invite 150 or 200 or whatever, she's like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. So Cass, we were just talking about that. Could you share a little bit about what that limiting belief was and how you switched that? Because obviously 400, like you blew away what I did last week. So, and you have a baby and you don't have a nanny because you can't have shelter in place. You can't have your nanny there. So tell us.
Oh my God. I'm putting her in the exercise. So the exerciser is my babysitter. If I can get her to feed it. But part of it was in February, I did the business boot camp group or whatever. And I realized like through consistency and tracking what I was doing, I hit Success Club 20. And since she's been born, since Gwen was born, I had been like Success Club 6 to 12, somewhere in there, which is great, but it's not where I wanted to be. And for my goals, it's not where I should be. I can do much better. And so I realized in February, after showing up consistently, like if I could hit Success Club 20, then I should be able to double that and get 40, because I was like, I wasn't putting in that much time during February. And so I'm like, if I could just do a little bit more each day, I know it would get me to that Success Club 40 number. And so my whole mindset shift was really just realizing, when can I be doing a little bit more during my day? When can I fit that in? And where are some easy ways that I could shift my systems? Like inviting to stories. I can mass invite to stories twice a month. For me, I feel like that's really great. Beginning of the month to share challenge group starting, end of the month to share challenge group is starting for next month, so like those kind of things that will be big numbers. Going through your friends list and start from the top and just invite. So that's kind of how I shifted that. And yeah, not being afraid. Is that what you want me to share? I feel like I don't really have an answer for.
No, that's
yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
I did a challenge this weekend for myself. I was like, 200 invites is what I'm doing, and I'm not sleeping until I get there. So I like to hit goals.
I love it. No, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. And the reason why is because it brings me back to what like Jessica was saying. Like if I said that you had a trip in 30 days to Fiji, if you got to Diamond, you guys would all show up differently. If a plane was going to come pick you and your family up and didn't matter about the quarantine, you're going to get out of all of this, you're going to get out of this shelter in place, and you're going to be taken to Fiji, you and your entire family on a private jet, you would hit Diamond in 30 days. And it goes to show how much more potential we have, but how we limit ourselves. And Cass is like a perfect example. She had already created success in this business. It wasn't that she hadn't already done that and she was still limiting herself. Right. And then she became aware of that. Like, wait, if I have these bigger goals, I can't just sit back and say, like, I have these goals, they're going to happen someday. Like, she made that decision and that commitment to say, okay, I want something different. I have to do something different. And so I love what Jessica said. It was so perfect, because when I started this business, the reason why it was Diamond in 90 days was because you could earn a trip if you went Diamond in 90 days. And I was like, well, I don't want to miss the trip and like miss getting Diamond. So I'm going to go Diamond in 60 days. And that's literally why I did it. I made that commitment. I wanted that trip. I wanted to earn the trip. Of course, I wanted to earn income and grow my income as well and grow my business. But I made that commitment and I showed up to figure it out. I had no scripts. There were not challenge groups. There were not challenge packs. In fact, to get started with P90X and Shakeology by themselves, just those two things, plus coaching, was $270. It's real easy to sell 100, just like she said on the National Coach Wake Up Call, 160. I hate to say it's easy, but it is easy if you have the belief. Not that people aren't going to say no to you or not get started. Like, that happens to me all the time. But it's easy because you go out there and you're like, I have this solution that literally everybody needs. I believe everybody should be drinking Shakeology, by the way. I believe everybody should be a coach, just like she said on the National Coach Wake Up Call. And I showed up with that belief and that enthusiasm that this is the best gift. And I put my ego aside. Like, was it scary to invite in the beginning? Yes. When I would invite those, Sarah Davis isn't on here, but she she invited some people from her chicken list, those that she's afraid to invite, the people that she's like, these would be incredible coaches. And I'm not a good enough leader, which you all are because you signed up to be a coach. And so she went out and invited those. And one of the girls was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I need this. And her mind was blown that she said, yes, you are making the decision for other people when you don't go out there and invite them. And if I had the time to go invite hundreds a day, I would. And when I was a newer coach, I did that. I would go and try everything and invite as many people as I possibly could because I had the time for that. Leading a team of thousands and thousands and thousands now, it's a little different. I want to help and support you guys and help and support my challengers. And because it's such a massive number now, I don't have the time to just spend doing all those invites every day. But if you don't have a big team like that yet, you have more time to put into doing those invites, and people need the gift that you have. So we have to get over ourselves. And if you struggle with that, Get Over Your Damn Self is a really great book to get over yourself and get out there and share this gift and allow people to make that decision. Yes, Kelsey, yes. That book is so good. So, so good. Yes, Cass, I'm not inviting every day. I'm finding those times when I can just fast and furious invite a few times a week. Love it. And you can find that system for you. But what I'm saying is don't limit yourself. Every single one of you could go diamond this month. Like my goal is to build a diamond every single month. Every single month, build a diamond coach, because that many people need a solution and need help. So why am I going to limit myself and not go find those people? Right?
Hey, Christy, can you ask a question really quick? How many of us on here are emeralds? At least an emerald. If you're an emerald, you can build a diamond. You guys, this is so simple. Like if you've recruited 2 people or found 2 people to sign up, you can do that over and over and over. And I've built like 3 or 4 diamonds already, and it's the same thing. Like if you can do it once, you can do it again. And I have to remind myself that it's that basic. Like it really is. Same thing with starting new challengers, finding new challengers. If you've done it once, you can do it again. There's millions of people out there that you can find. And then one last thing I was going to share, the mindset thing was sharing publicly that you're going to hit a goal. When I say Success Club 40, I was like, I'm terrified. I've never done that. I've been in the 30s, but I've never been Success Club 40. And I'm like, I have to make it happen, because I've said it multiple times out loud to the team, to Christy. I'm like, I have to hit 40. So if I don't, it's okay. I won't be mad at myself, but share your goals out loud, diamond, date, or whatever. So keep sharing it.
I love that Cass brought that up. One thing that really helped me build my business was I shared publicly, I'm going to leave my full-time job. I didn't just hide behind the fact that I hadn't left my full-time job thinking I wasn't successful. I hadn't earned a dime. My very first coach call, my very first potential coach call, I shared with her, because I had been drinking Shakeology, so I shared with her what that had done for me. And then I shared with her that I was going to use this business to help enough people to leave my full-time job. I didn't have one coach on my team, and she enrolled with me. And I was like, I asked her later, why did you enroll with me? She goes, well, I figured like if I could lose some weight and get healthier and earn a little extra income, it was like a win-win-win. So yeah, I signed up. But like you were super confident that you were going to do this. Like you were confident in that vision that you have for your life. And I needed some of that hope in my life. Oh, people need hope. And when right now more than ever, people need hope. People need hope all the time though. You know, and I say that because this crisis is very real. I'm not downplaying that it's not real. But crisis happens on an individual level to people all the time. It just so happens that this crisis is global, so we all feel it. But Cass and I were talking about this the other day. So what we've gone through in our business has been harder on us than this pandemic, which I know it might be hard for some people, but like we literally have gone through stuff that's way harder on a personal level than what this pandemic is for us currently. And because we've had to overcome those things, like she said, like here's a roadblock. And do you figure that out? Do you become aware of it and figure it out? Or does that become the wall that turns you around? And we saw plenty of people in our time as a coach who use that as a wall and give up. And we didn't. We climbed the damn wall. We figured out how to throw a rope over. Right. And we did that together. And now when like something like this happens, we have that freedom that she talks about. and it is like available for everyone. And that's why this gift is so powerful to go out there and give to people. And I feel like if you haven't read the book, The Obstacle is the Way, definitely, like we are in that obstacle right now as a global, globally, we're in an obstacle globally. But it allows opportunity for us to really stand up and rise. You've got to take advantage of it now, because it was kind of interesting there. Brendon Burchard has been saying for a long time, like everybody is getting into a global space, starting a business. The cool thing we have with network marketing is it's a lot of people doing a little bit of work, right? A lot of people doing a little bit of work. I couldn't earn what I earn trying to do this all by myself. I'd be working, I would never sleep, right? But it's a lot of people doing a little bit of work that can create income for a lot of people. And I just lost my train of thought. Where was I talking about, Cass? Pandemic.
Sorry, I have music from the baby here. I think you were talking about getting through it. Like we've been through this stuff before. And so this is nothing now. Yeah. I mean, it is something, but.
Right. But the thing is through every obstacle, there's huge opportunity. And right now is a really big turning point, because a lot of people are going to exit what they were doing previously. There's a lot of people on social media that are trying to build businesses on social media. This time is going to get harder for them. We are kind of in a crazy spot because it doesn't actually have to be harder for us. Like we have everything that this pandemic needs, which is not what we wanted. We didn't want a pandemic. I'm just saying it's like huge opportunity. And a lot of people are going to be exiting their personal businesses. They're going to be reevaluating their jobs that they thought were secure. And I get it, because I worked in finance and I started during a financial crisis. And it wasn't that I thought my job was secure. I thought when I got out of college, I would have a secure job, and I didn't. And so I learned right away that the jobs that society thinks are secure aren't really secure. And so that's how I showed up in my business, because I was in that spot where it was like, I have to figure out every wall. I have to overcome every single roadblock and climb over every single wall. And that created strength along the way. But we're in a really big, like pivotal moment in history, definitely. But it's also a really huge opportunity. And this is a time where a lot of people will shrink because of their mindsets. I'm not saying that this isn't real and that it isn't crazy and wild what we're going through. I'm not saying that. I'm not downplaying people's emotions. But what I am saying is that if the people that allow the worry to overcome them and create depression in their life and make them panic and feel anxiety, they will continue to do that no matter what happens in their life. Does that make sense? Like, it's not just the pandemic, like every little personal thing that happens, that's how they're going to react. And you guys are all showing up. And so some of you are sharing that you're not leaders, but you are, because you made the decision to show up during a crisis. And that's a really big decision, because that's a decision, that's the wall that thins the herd. That's the wall that thins the herd. And you guys have made it to the wall and you're climbing over it. And so you are a leader, and people do need you and they need your story. And what she was sharing earlier about going and finding the story, go find those stories of the coaches that you speak better than them, you post better than them, and you're like, how are they earning what they're earning? I can do this better than them. And when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I did. I would look to the people that were successful and be like, okay, I can be where they're at. And then I would go find the people that weren't as good at things and be like, I'm way better than them. I can do this better. And so there was kind of this, like, I needed the vision of the people that were ahead of me. And then I needed the like comparison of people that were accomplishing things that didn't even have the skills that I had, right? And so that's what she was saying with the stories. So find those if you need them. But I want to challenge you when it comes to inviting, whatever that action goal is, like go after it for sure, commit to that, create the habits that build this business. But the second part of that is know where you're going every week. Like my goal this week is to enroll 4 people. Your goal should be to at least enroll 1 person, 1 new coach to your team, and do the action to find that 1 person. And I know some weeks I will do the action like I did last week. I did the action and I didn't enroll anyone. I mean, I had a lot of new customers and I even had some new coaches, but they were people that just went to my website and enrolled because of all the past work I've done the last 9 years, because of those minimum of 100 invites I've done every single week for the last 9 years. So I should count those, but I don't really, because I'm like, they didn't talk to me. They still didn't talk to me when I reached out to them. Even though I'm earning income, they didn't talk to me. But all the invites I sent, like none of that paid off, if you will. But I know that it will in the future. It's those seeds you plant now that are going to be harvested later. So you have to do the consistency now and do it at a level beyond what you think is comfortable. Because if you're comfortable, your business doesn't grow in comfort and you don't feel enthusiasm and excitement about that. So get really uncomfortable. If 90 days to diamond is too comfortable, make it 30, make it 60. Do something that's scary that's going to force you to show up differently. And the reason why, like, Success Club's great. I hit it every month, 108 months straight. I'll be 9 years on April 1st, and it's been every single month since I started as a coach, I've hit Success Club. And that's great. But if I just reached for Success Club every month, I'd be really comfortable. It was uncomfortable for me to hit Success Club in the beginning, but now that's comfortable. And so to get uncomfortable, I have to think of it as I'm going out there and trying to find the people that are willing and ready to do the work to change their life. And so I'm going to go out there and find them, because if my coach didn't find me, my life might be like the majority of people's lives right now. Freaking out, because I freaked out about everything. Someone hit my car, it was like the end of the world, right? Windshield crack, I was crying and like my whole week was thrown off. Like the little things that really don't matter used to control my life. This business helped me to have such a better mindset and happier, healthier life, like truly, but it was those vitals every single day. And I want to go out there and find people like me. And so I show up differently and I invite differently because I'm on a mission to find me. Okay. So Thursday will be your check-in again with your trackers. A couple notes when you go through your tracker where it says invite blank number. I want you guys in that blank to write down what your goal is for the week or per day, however you want to look at it. I look at my invite goals for the week because, like Cassie said, she'll do bigger invite days and then other days she's following up and doing other things in her business. So I want you to put in that your invite goal for either put 15 per day or 100 per week or whatever that goal is. Each day on the invite section, don't just check. Don't put a check mark, put how many you invited, because with the check marks, I don't know what that number is. Some people will put a check mark and they've invited one, and then we can't really track that. And the reason for tracking is because, like Cassie said, she knew if she invited X amount of people, she'd hit Success Club 10. So now if she wants 40, she knows she has to quadruple those invite numbers, right? She only knows that because she's tracked her business for so long that she has that data. And this business has a 30, 60, 90-day delay. So if you're tracking, actively tracking every week, and Sharice did this. Sorry, Sharice, we ran out of time, but Sharice did this, and she sent it to me. She goes, Christy, from a couple, I don't remember when the group was, you made us track. And she said, these were my tracking numbers and these were the results. So now I know what my invite numbers need to be. And she had that data from her previous. You want to be tracking all the time so that you have that data. And the data will improve because the more you've planted those seeds, a lot of times you're following up and you're getting in conversations. Most people, like I just had a girl come to me today. She wants to get started with a 10 rounds challenge pack. I didn't invite her, but I've invited her like 5 times prior. So it seems real easy. It looks like all these people just come to me, and they do, but it's because I've invited them before or they've been following me for years. And so it's that consistency muscle. Okay. Thursday, turn your trackers in. Next Monday, we'll have another Zoom. And keep the one last thing that she said was be the coach that you want to attract into your business. And I love when she said that, because when you add value, you feel valuable. When you add value, you feel valuable. When you go into Ignite, and like, I love that she said, it's not something big. It's like Cassie sharing, I'm going to invite 200 people this weekend. Who wants to join me? That's valuable because now she inspired. Most of the time when Cassie does that, I'm like, oh, I wasn't going to, but now I am because Cassie's doing it. So I'm doing it. And that's the kind of influence and leadership that we need together, so that when we bring a brand new coach into Ignite Your Life, that's all they know. And Jenna's not on this Zoom, but the very first time she joined a Zoom like this, I went around and asked everyone what their numbers were for inviting, and they were all personally sponsored coaches, and every single one of them said 100 invites a week. And Jenna goes, I was going to say 15 for the week, Christy. She told me later. She goes, but then when you got to me, everybody else said 100. So I said 100. So I went and did it. And Sharon Success Club. And it was because what's that quote, like, whatever rises all ships. What's the quote? Anyone? But it's that. So when you go into Ignite, it can be as simple as, I sent 10 invites today. Anyone else? I'm going to go do 20 follow-ups today. Who wants to join me? That's you leading the way. It's just you doing those behaviors and sharing. Like, the reason I post so much with all these ideas is just because I'm doing the behaviors, and then I get so many questions about the behaviors because I've done them for so many years. So then instead of keeping it secret behind the scenes, I go post it in Ignite. It looks fancy because I've been doing it for 9 years, but it's not really. You all have the exact same leadership within you. It's just going and actually sharing it and not keeping it hidden because your ego is telling you it's not good enough. Okay? So trackers on Thursday. This next Monday, share and Ignite. Cool? Any questions? Cherise, don't feel like you're bombarding these. People don't even check it every day. And the more we post in there and it shows up in their newsfeed, the more they're not hearing about coronavirus. Why do you think I posted so much when coronavirus started? I was like, I need their feeds to be Christy, not coronavirus. I'm serious. I'm completely serious. I'm like, all I need is for them to see one post from me instead of like 50 about Corona. All right, you guys. I am so excited to work with all of you over these next 90 days. Keep posting questions you guys have in the group message thread. You guys are bringing so much value to each other, and I hope that's helping you to see how valuable you are as leaders. Because I know every single one of you can build to diamond in 90 days or less, 30 days, 60 days, pushing some comfort zones. All right. Have a great week, guys.